Today we're looking at the Festool CT36E AC. That is a mouthful, but this thing is awesome. This is the 1 year later review. Let's check it out right now. Alright, because this is such a big unit here, you don't get to see my face and the Festool, which is alright because I know this thing's way better looking. Let's be real. Alright, Festool, again, this is the CT36E AC. See if we can spin it around without it tumbling off of the bench here. Honestly, it is big, but it's not their biggest. And considering what this tool actually does, it is very, very worth the size. It's incredible. I can't say enough good things about it. So again, I have had this and been using it for over a year now, and I really am having a hard time finding any faults with it, especially when it comes straight down to the performance of it. I had some projects where I was using this up on a man lift, sanding, doing all kinds of stuff, and again, this is just, it's never failed me. It has done its job, and it has done it incredibly well. So I'm going to talk through some of the things that I really have enjoyed about it, and then we'll kind of start up on the top here. Let's spin this one more time, just right around. You can see this nice flat top here, and you can see Festool's kind of trademark green sustainer lock here. Now they've got some other tabs here for some of the other sustainer styles, but this top is designed to have sustainers lock in. And honestly, I went back and forth on whether that would be a super useful feature, but what the project that really sold me on this though is I was, again, up on a man lift. I was doing like overnight work, sanding on stuff up high in the sky. I was, at times 30 feet up working, and being able to have this up on the man lift with me, have my sander, have sanding pads, everything. It was stacked, it was locked, it was taking up as minimal space as possible. I was sold from then on. I was like, that is awesome. It was such a nice feature to have. So great job on Festool for thinking that through, and in those types of situations it really does shine. The handle is kind of down inside this top here. It's nothing special. Sometimes it feels a little bit awkward, but again, you're dealing with a fairly large dust extractor, so it is what it is. I don't think you get quite everything when you're trying to design it through. One of the things I thought I was going to be more concerned with was this dust, or this cover for your outlet. So this outlet will power your tools like your sander, and basically you can set it up so that it's auto, so that when you turn on whatever tool is connected to this power here, the whole dust extractor turns on with it. It's a great feature. I was concerned about this cover here breaking. It's thin plastic. There's not much here holding it on. I've been very careful around it. I'm having no issues yet. I've read comments and I've seen reports from other people saying, hey, this broke off, and I can see where that happens. I'm, again, being very careful and thoughtful about it, and so far I have had no issues with it. So possibly a con here, but overall not an issue for me yet. Controls, everything is right here up on the front. You have these 3 dials, very simple, straightforward. You basically have your on and off settings here, and it's either into the manual settings or it's into the auto settings. Manual being, you turn on the manual, the machine turns on immediately. Auto is, again, responding to this outlet. So a couple of differences there. You have next your I can't see it here. This is your, I think, suction control. Yes, suction control, and then it's the actual what would you call this? This would be kind of like the dust removal feature off of the filter. There's a term for it. I don't know why I'm spacing it right now, but irregardless, this is basically going to adjust the motor and adjust the amount of suction that's actually coming through the unit, so you can max it out, or depending on the situation, sometimes you actually need to lighten it up so that you're not like, maybe you're sanding something delicate and you don't want the sander actually sucking down onto the surface super hard, because you can actually damage things. So you can lighten that up if you need to. This feature, it's basically the auto clean, right? I think that's the term that Festool is using. So it's in the auto clean feature where the actual HEPA filters in this will get knocked and kind of help knock loose some of the dust and whatever's been caught in it, and it could just kind of prolongs your filter life. Now, you might be wondering why you would want to be able to adjust that. If you had this hooked up to a saw where you're dealing with really big wood chips, when this knocks that stuff loose, it's kind of loud. You may not need it for large dust chips. Probably the majority of it's getting caught in the bags. Obviously, you're getting less dust. So maybe you turn that setting down and it's just not knocking those filters as frequently. But you can see on here, it actually says Plane X. If you were drywall sanding, let's say with Festool's Plane X tool or any other drywall sander, something like that, the dust is so fine, you are going to want that hitting those filters and knocking them loose to keep the performance as high as possible, as frequently as possible. So that's kind of the setting there. It's pretty straightforward once you kind of figure out how often it's happening. You can see here, you got a control panel. This is removable if you want to hook up Bluetooth. That's something I really wanted to do, but I never really had an occasion for it, so I just haven't done it yet. Depending on the situation, going forward, I may get the Bluetooth module and install that at some point here in the near future. So the locking feature here for the wheels, hopefully you guys can see that. It's down low here, and basically you can step on this and push the unit back, and this will flip down and hold the front wheels up, and it will kind of lock this into place. It doesn't want to move. And then when you hit this and release it, it comes rolling back up. You push it and push the vacuum back and it rolls forward. It works fairly well. It's kind of odd when you're using it, like until you get used to it, you kind of mess with it. So it's not necessarily my favorite way of stopping the vacuum from rolling, but it does work for the most part. I don't think I have it at any situations where it was actually up or down, I should say, and it failed to stop the unit from moving. But it's just a little awkward, something I would have to continue to use to get used to. So not my favorite feature, but it certainly works. The casters on this have been fine. I've had no issues with them. They're basically just a plastic, some sort of heavy plastic there. They seem robust enough. They spin freely. They roll freely. I have no issues. Again, that might be a weak point. It's hard to tell. You guys can let me know in the comments section if you've had any issues with them. But so far for me, what I've been doing, they've been fine. The back wheels here, great. No issues with them. Those look, fairly well built. I have no concerns about those. And the last thing I want to talk about is just the sheer volume of stuff that you can fit into this. So I'm going to pop this open. Let's see. We're going to pop this open and see if we can kind of show what it looks like on the inside, so I can describe all of this to you. Okay, let's see here. There we go. It's up. Now you can see in there, you have your HEPA filters. I'm going to carefully set this on the side. Okay, so I can hopefully talk through this. So you've got your HEPA filter here. These are replaceable, obviously, and this is what gets knocked to help loosen some of that dust. So that's all built in there. Easy access. You're good to go. I'm going to pull this off the top, though, because the thing that I want to talk about now is the actual sheer amount of dust and debris you can fill in this bag, and this unit does not care. What I mean by that is the bag previous to this, I had it completely filled with dust and debris and all kinds of nastiness, and I did not notice a decline in performance at all. It was really, really astonishing, and the only reason why I ended up checking the bag, I feel horrible saying this, the only reason why I did it was because I picked it up and I'm like, this feels way too heavy. Like, it's a heavy unit, but it's way too heavy. The bag's got to have like a decent amount. I pulled it open. You have a nice easy release system here. This rolls up. You can remove this and you can kind of close. It's got like a cardboard tab. You can kind of close off the bag to seal it. That helps. I went through that and I picked up this bag and it felt like it was like 30 pounds. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely stuffed. And had I not really paid attention to the actual just sheer weight, I don't know if I would have checked it due to a performance loss. It was just still running. It was pulling in everything I wanted it to and more. So if you get something like this, check the bag more frequently, especially if you're using it a lot. They're big bags. I mean, you can see the volume in here. I don't remember what the volume number is offhand, but they're incredibly large. So you do get a lot of capacity, especially on this unit, or the CT48 is even bigger. But it was really remarkable. It just kind of blew my mind that motor could still generate that much suction, even though this bag was so full. So just kudos to Festool. They have this designed incredibly well, and I would not hesitate to recommend this unit to anyone. So that is my year of using the Festool, the CT36. I'm not going to be able to do this up on the bench, I don't think. You can see it all the way around. I don't know if I'm... There we go. Oh, I've got a seal coming off here, so I got to make sure I push that up in there. There we go. There we go. Now that's seated nicely. Yep, it's good all the way around. That just locks up into place and you're good to go. So really simple, really straightforward. Festool CT36. This is the auto clean version. If you got a lot of dust, you got a lot of stuff to, you're trying to keep your workplaces clean and safe, I would absolutely 100% recommend this. There are some other incredible dust extractors on the market, but this has got to be right up there with them. I don't think there's any of them out there that are outperforming this in such a significant way that this wouldn't be worthy of your consideration. But as always, I love hearing from you guys. You guys are awesome to engage with in the comments section. It's one of my favorite things to do, hands down. Seriously, I'm not pulling your strings here, so I really mean it. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think of this dust extractor, or any of them from Festool? Have you guys been happy with them? Are there any knocks on them? Anything to watch out for? What's your experience has been? Otherwise, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in the next one.